Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina, where today we're serving up a review of the Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H. Figuarts Star Wars Anakin Skywalker from Attack of the Clones. Now this figure was a web exclusive, meaning it wasn't mass produced, it was very difficult to obtain, and as a result, prices on the figure have skyrocketed since its release. There were also two versions of this release. If you got in on it early, you got this version which has the two extra lightsabers that Anakin had on Geonosis and that he used during the Count Dooku duel, as well as an interchangeable head with an angrier expression. So you can't see anything here. Basically, you just have the box. It's nice. It gets the job done. It's very compact. You can see the figure there. And overall, they did a good job. I mean, there's not really a whole lot I can say about it. I mean, it's pretty run-of-the-mill for S.H. Figuarts. So there's Obi-Wan, and there's the accessories. So, okay, I'm going to go and spend a little bit of time, get this unboxed. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at Anakin Skywalker. All right, you guys. So here is Anakin out of the packaging. And I love what I'm seeing. I know I said the same thing with the Figuarts Padme, but fact is, I love what I'm seeing. Aesthetically, this is gorgeous. The likeness looks really good. The proportions and overall physique look excellent. I mean, it truly looks like they took Hayden Christensen and scaled him down to 6 inches. The coloration on the figure looks fantastic. I like how everything's nice and matte for the most part. Gives it a better sense of realism. And of course, as a Figuarts figure, there's lots of articulation, and in the case of this initial version of the web exclusive, plenty of accessories. Let's go ahead and take a closer up look at Anakin, and I really like the head sculpt. I mean, for me, this is one of the best likenesses that I've seen on a 6-inch scale action figure, and that's not terribly surprising. For S.H. Figuarts, they typically do really good jobs on the facial sculpts when it comes to humans. So, I mean, this is par for the course for Figuarts, but even by their standard, I think this looks really, really good. They just nailed that Hayden Christensen look. I mean, from any angle you pose him at, I mean, it just looks like the guy. It looks just like him. It's remarkable. Not only that, but the paint is actually really clean. I like how, for the most part, the skin is matte, has a nice complexion to it, not too dark, not too light, but there's also a little bit of a sheen to it to give it more of a natural look. You know, we don't want it to look too pasty or too pale. So that looks quite nice. And the contouring on the face looks really good. You can see his cheekbones. You can see his eyes looking really good. They're nice and blue. And the lips look really good. All the shading is fantastic on the figure. I also really like the hair. A lot of the times with the Figuarts, earlier on anyway especially, they were doing these gold highlights, and you're not really seeing that here. It's definitely more of a lighter shades of brown, a little bit of a darker shade of brown intermingled in there. A little ponytail right there. And of course his Padawan braid right here. It's a little bit pliable, as you can see. I mean, this looks very screen accurate. I think it looks gorgeous. Then you get into the rest of the figure, and the outfit looks absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, a very nice matte quality to most of the outfit. You can see that the sleeves and the under robe that he has there, and the pants are pretty matte for the most part. They're not waxy, they're not shiny like a Hasbro figure, you know, which cheapens the aesthetic. This looks really good. There is a little bit more of a sheen to his tabards here. And but it's just the right amount, I would say. I mean, they're not overly obnoxiously shiny or anything. The boots also look really good. A little bit more shiny than the rest of the outfit, not counting the tabards, but they're sculpted very well and they're colored very well. I mean, it is a pretty realistic look. Perhaps they could have done a little bit more in terms of shading for the boots. I don't want to be too picky here, but you know, they could have done a little bit more shading just to kind of highlight some of those details a little bit better. But other than that, it looks really good. The belt looks excellent. Really nice coloring on those little thingies right there, for lack of a better word, sorry. The patches look really good, and I mean, overall, it just looks really, really nice. Now, I already have the lightsaber hilt on there. Reasoning for that is that it actually comes on there out of the box, and you will see that it does have a little notch right there, and that just plugs in to that little hole. And the hilt itself is really good looking. It's got a nice sculpt to it, nice coloring. It does look metallic, even though it's, you know, just a very solid plastic. It is nice that, you can plug that into his belt. Now, in terms of articulation, Anakin has a ball pin at the top of the head that goes into the neck. So that enables you to get an extra amount of movement. So, good down movement, not really up so much. And that's partly, I guess, because of the hair and how high up his collar sits right there. But you can go side to side. You can tilt it a little bit. But mostly it's going to be the up and down movement that you get. And of course, moving his head from side to side. So that is really nice. Here at both of the shoulders, you can move them out. You can move them forward. So really nicely done overall. You also see that there is a cup that kind of obscures the joint a little bit. That is nice to see. He's got a bend at both of the elbows, and that's definitely more than 90 degrees. The gap right here looks a little odd, but sacrifices, right? You get more movement since you can see it. And you can also rotate it side to side. So that is pretty nice. Here at both of the wrists, typical for Figuarts, you can rotate it. You can kind of go forward and back, and depending on how you orient the hand, you can also go up and down. Here at the midsection, he's got a ball joint, and so you can rotate it here at the top of the torso. You can also go up and down, and then the bottom part you can also rotate and go up and down, since that is a separate piece. Now, these are pretty flexible. That way you can get a little bit more movement. So for the hips, you can go forward pretty much all the way, a little bit obscured because of this part here. And then you can do a full split, almost a full split. So that is pretty nice. And as is par for the course with Figuarts, you do have the drop down joint. So that enables you to get a little bit more movement when you're posing him and such. He's got bends at both of the knees. At the ankles, you can go up and down, you can rotate them, and you can pivot them back and forth. And then at the toes, you can also move those almost all the way up. It looks a little unnatural like that. So, but hey, it helps with posing again. Overall, very nicely articulated figure. So out of the box, Anakin comes with 2 fisted hands. He also comes with 2 lightsaber gripping hands, which is really important, especially because you get 3 lightsabers with this set. And then you get 2 open hands, which can be used for force shoving or force pulling or what have you. Anakin also comes with an interchangeable head. I think that it looks very nice. It has a little bit of an angrier expression to it. Definitely more like the way he looked when he went and confronted the Sand People on Tatooine. So side by side, I think that the likeness is a lot better on the neutral face. But this isn't bad either. At least it's, different enough. Sometimes they're too similar with Figuarts when you have interchangeable heads or face plates or whatever. In this case, they are different enough, and I do like that. So to remove the head, basically you're just going to pull it just like that. It comes out very easily. There's the little cup on the inside, and you're just going to line it up and replace it just like so. It comes out very easily, and I don't have the issue I had with Padme where the entire neck joint was popping out with the head. Now, in terms of those lightsabers, Anakin comes with his standard Attack of the Clones lightsaber hilt with the blade in it. It's non-removable. It's all one piece. But since he already has the hilt on his belt, it is nice that we have a lit version of the lightsaber as well. You can see that it's a little bit wider here at the midsection, kind of tapers at the top, and then here at the bottom. The hilt looks just as good as the other one. Difference is it doesn't have that pin that goes into the belt. And the blade is a nice medium blue color. And then you get these 2 lightsabers, which, like the interchangeable angry expression head, were included with the initial version of the web exclusive. So these are the 2 Anakin had on Geonosis. This is the one that was thrown to him by one of those random Jedi when he didn't have a lightsaber. It's got a nice hilt to it. This is more like the Aayla Secura Revenge of the Sith hilt right there. Also, I think Ki-Adi-Mundi has that same hilt, and it looks good. Nice metallic look to it, nice little paint details on it, and it's a nice medium shade of green. As you can see, it is kind of tapered like the other lightsabers, but not quite as much. The midsection is a little bit thinner. Then for the other lightsaber, this one has more of the, I think this is the Shock T and Plo Koon lightsaber hilt. It also looks really good. It's a little bit different from the other one, obviously different sculpt, and it's got some gold paint. Looks really good, some red paint for the buttons, and it's also got the same blade as the green lightsaber, so not quite as tapered as the Anakin lightsaber, and it's actually a little bit of a lighter shade of blue. If I bring in the Anakin lightsaber, you can see that they're different shades of blue, which is kind of annoying, honestly. But you're probably not going to display him with both of these lightsabers at the same time, so I can overlook that. So again, very, very nice that he has both of these lightsabers. And he looks really nice with both of these lightsabers in hand, which really allows for quite a few display options. And here is Anakin with the S.H. Figuarts Padme. If you'd like to check out that review, there is a link down below. Aesthetically, I think that these are two of the best looking S.H. Figuarts figures. I mean, aesthetically, they are very awesome and really great to see them both together here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H. Figuarts Star Wars Attack of the Clones Anakin Skywalker 6-inch figure. Overall, you guys, I love this figure. I mean, as much as I like Padme, I feel like I might like Anakin just a little bit more. Now, granted, I don't have the issues that I had with Padme, like the neck joint popping out with the entire head when you swap the heads out, or the blaster where the top of the blaster was disconnecting too easily from the handle. But there's also the aesthetics. As fantastic as Padme looks, I think that Anakin looks a little bit better. I think that his likeness is more dialed into Hayden Christensen than Padme's was to Natalie Portman. And like I said, they're both great looking figures. Even though Padme looks fantastic, I just think that Anakin looks a little bit closer to the source material overall. His proportions, his physique, the nice matte paint detailing, all of that looks really good on the figure. He interacts well with his accessories, the 3 lightsabers, the interchangeable head. You can swap those back and forth with no problems. The lightsaber hilt going onto the belt. The really nice articulation. I mean, it's kind of rare when I don't really have anything major to complain about for a figure, even when there's little details that kind of bother me. I mean, in this case, it's near perfect, and that's really rare to say, even with an S.H. Figuarts figure. So in that respect, I highly recommend it to you if you can get him. I know that he's been out for a little bit now, and he was an exclusive version of a web exclusive at that. So to track this particular version down is kind of difficult. He is expensive. Both versions are expensive, but this one even more so. But either way, I am very happy with the way this figure turned out. I think he's beautiful, and I am so stoked to have him, and Padme as well. But like I said, I give the edge to Anakin. I'm just a little bit happier with him overall. So totally worth it in my book. Alright, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If so, do like, do subscribe. Let me know your own thoughts down below. Be sure to follow me as well on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to the Cantina Chatter podcast on iTunes. And as always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.